All right, welcome to the Sushi Forum episode. I think this is 34, 33, it's 34, I think, where we discuss this week's news, proposals, and developments in the Sushi Swap ecosystem, accompanied by Tangle and Ryan Muir. Thanks everybody for coming out and participating.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. Thanks, Turtle.
Just starting off, we got some miso developments. First off, there's a new tutorial. If you would like to read sort of how the step-to-step process for creating a new auction on miso, you could read that on the Sushi organization Medium. But just to go over some stats here from the past couple, the first number of miso auctions, we had Sake raised 3.1 million, Fold from Manifold Finance raised 150,000, Sunder raised 2.4 million. I Bet You raised 130,000. Volatility Protocol raised 750,000. The recent miso auctions have been going really well and have generated about 15 million in exchange volume as well, just from the recent token listings. It's pretty inspirational stuff for a new launchpad. And we also have the Atrace AMA that will be, or not AMA, the Atrace miso auction will be launching in like 24 hours, just about, maybe a little bit under that now. So keep your eye on that if you are familiar with that project. I think, Tango, you did an AMA with Trace, right?
Yeah, there's Trace, who we did on Tuesday, and then Atrace is next week as well. So
Wait, Atrace and Trace are different?
yeah, two different things. So yeah,
my
Trace itself, they were planning to launch and just had needed to take a minute before they launched. And Atrace, like as you mentioned here, is going to be happening right away, within 24 hours. And yeah, so yeah, we had let's see, there'll be 4 AMAs this week. We had Trace on Tuesday, then we had Manifold Finance on Wednesday. That was yesterday. Yeah, that was a really good one as well. Just learning more about how they're looking to help the sushi ecosystem here with gas rebates and front running protection and whatnot. So it seems like a very ambitious project, and yeah, it was really cool to chat with those guys. And today we had Indexed Finance, and yeah, that one went really well. Yeah, and there was 4 of them, 4 or 5. Yeah, 4 of them came on and discussed with us. So all of those are up on YouTube as well, so you can go to the Sushi channel and find those there. So yeah, good stuff. And tomorrow we've got Polygon joining us. So we have one of the head DeFi guys with it, the Hamza Khan is going to be joining us. So yeah, looking forward to that as well. So
Awesome. Is that just like going to be general conversation, or is there like a reason that they are coming on?
I think just general conversation to kind of help promote Polygon and L2, like all the
Cool.
layer 2 stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's always useful to get sort of like insights from team members working on the different different blockchains and different side chains and all that.
exactly. So yeah, and then next week, next Tuesday, we've got is with Atrace, and that one I think is at 1700 UTC on Tuesday. So I think that's 17. No, it might be 1500 UTC. Anyways, I'll be putting announcements and messages and Twitter posts on that as well. So stay tuned and yeah, find out about Atrace. So
Cool. Also just gonna briefly touch on these. We had I Trust Capital launch Sushi as an asset for their crypto IRAs. From what I don't I don't have an IRA, but from what I looked into, I Trust Capital, it's basically just like a wrapper IRA for your traditional IRA. It allows you to legally sort of merge your money over from your IRA into whatever crypto assets you want um, on their platform. Seems pretty awesome that they were adding Sushi. And then we had a Bloomberg article talking about DeFi and Sushi. It's it's more of a um, what's the word? It's like an article to be read for, I don't know, not not a commoner, but like a common person. Like it's not a super technical article talking about DeFi, I should say. So it's cool to see Bloomberg talking about Sushi. I'd like them to get a tech reporter on it. Is all I'm gonna say on that. And we had a new base layer podcast hosted by David Nage, I think is how you pronounce it, with Xerox Mackey as a guest. It's a great podcast to get caught up with Sushi and all that's going on behind the scenes. And then we also had the Y Cabal public beta launch today. I think today is right, or was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
Uh, and so for the Y Cabal that is fully activated, Tangle.
I don't know that it's fully activated. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, I can't remember exactly when that was going live, but I think soon. I should have had that ready.
Gotcha. Awesome. Awesome. Any interesting tidbits you can hint at from the Manifold AMA before people go off to go listen to that?
Basically, those guys have got a really great perspective on kind of shifting the paradigm of how like swaps and trading has been going on, because they realize that there's so much front running happening, and like as they were kind of saying, like sandwich ordering, I think they called it, where you're getting front run and back run, and it's actually creating more fees because more transactions on chain. So it's creating this like uh, exponential effect of fees and overpricing. And there was a website that Maddie dropped afterwards in the AMA channel there, with showing like you can type in
Oh,
your,
sandwiched.wtf.
is that what okay, maybe that's what it is. And does it show you your fees of like what you've been like?
When you've been the miner extracted value, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, he was saying like he threw a number around of like 50K worth of ETH has already been gone from him. So yeah, like that's, when you see that kind of value that's going on, and instead of like trying to be a large operation trying to extract that value even further and like kind of keep wrecking the plebs in a sense, Manifold is looking to like empower the plebs and give them protection, give them rewards, make it better for them, and kind of like taking away from what they from the traditional ideas. So it's really seemed like they were out here to help and it make it more of like better for the community and for the ecosystem of users as compared to like the miners and and the big players. So found that really interesting, and they seem like a really cool bunch and very ambitious. So check that one out.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm super excited for Y Cabal. I was also actually looking at their like staking rewards. I was almost tempted to become an LP, but I haven't taken the tip yet. Um, and so we've also got, a mystery. I mean, this is just repeating stuff from like last week, I guess. A mystery announcement to be happening next month on the 20th. Definitely keep your eyes out. Some some rumors that it's like uh, synthetic stock trading on Sushi, but I don't know if that's true. But we'll see. It definitely sounds like it's something big. And this was already talked about. We have the Trace Network AMA, Manifold Finance AMA, Index Finance AMA are now up on the official Sushi YouTube channel, so you can go listen to those. And then we have the Onsen AMA with DeFi lead from Polygon. That's going to be happening tomorrow. What time tomorrow?
That one is at 16:30 UTC. So I think that's I'd put it in for Eastern time as well at 12:30 Eastern time, I think.
Are you, double check that because I don't think.
Oh, that doesn't sound right. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think UTC converts to 12:30, or I don't think. Pretty sure it's 4-hour difference. Because it's 9 p.m. UTC right now, and it's 5 p.m. EST.
Okay, so my bad then. Let's just go with 16:30 UTC, and
Okay, that's what I do. That's the
yeah,
smart way.
it's getting so confusing now.
I
When you're
know.
trying
I
got
sympathize.
a calculator and open or a converter open, and yeah, I don't know. Right now it's showing me 4:30 p.m. on UTC is 12:30 p.m. on.
Oh, you said
Eastern
4:30. Oh, okay. I thought you said 6:30.
16:30.
Oh,
16:30.
okay.
My
That makes
bad.
more
My
sense.
bad.
You're fine. And also, exciting news, everybody. International Sushi Day is tomorrow on the 18th. So if you are in the Sushi Swap Discord, which you all are, tomorrow you'll receive a message from a bot basically delivering you a special POAP for participating in the sushi party with us.
Yeah, so really excited about this. Hoping this all works to try and like make a mass spread of popes. I've been trying to do this for as many of these AMAs and sushi forums as possible. And now we're going to we're going to see if we can distribute it to the entire Discord server. So not promising anything, but it would be super cool if this works to be able to hook everybody up. So if you see something from Sushi Pope, you wanna take that, and that one is good. So message me if you got any questions or anything. Be sure to send me a DM. But hopefully that works out. And happy International Sushi Day for everyone.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Definitely going to be ordering some sushi then. And we've also just got a little bit of fun news here. Hayden Adams finally blocked Sushi CTO Joseph DeLong on Twitter. It finally happened, everybody. So if you were betting, we'll resolve that after the show. All right, moving on to some heavy hitters. We got the magic margin trading on Cashy with magic internet money proposal put forward by Daniel I don't know how to say your name. Daniel
Daniele.
Daniel. Okay, Daniel. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, do you want to sort of just give a sort of introduction to your proposal and what you're trying to bring to the table?
Yeah, sure. So, as you guys might know, we have been working with Kashi as a backend for our Abracadabra .money lending markets. So, what we wanted to achieve was to create a stablecoin called Magic Internet Money, or MEME, that would be able to compete with MakerDAO and other stablecoins that are out there with the CDPs. And the idea there was to collateralize as much as possible with the interest-bearing assets. With my other protocol, we were working with the LPs as a new type of asset class, and I believe strongly that interest-bearing tokens are as well very important for the future of DeFi and in general for the future of the whole crypto space. So we wanted to make a protocol to just do that. And of course, while we are working with Kashi, we will look into everything that is possible to do with it. And one of those things is definitely leverage. Right now, we we are very close to launch 10x leverage on farming, which is going to be like a one-click thing, and this is possible just because of the technology of Kashi that allows basically to do an atomic type of transaction, borrowing more of the amount that you need at the beginning, swap it in, and add the extra collateral after the swap, and basically you're leveraging your farming. This is all dictated by the loan to value that you place on the market, so you can go leverage very, very, very high. I see that here in the chat there is also El Pulpo, El Señor Pulpo, a strategist from Yearn. I say hola, amigo. And he's also working on some crazy degen shit with it. But in general, the idea here was looking into what is the future of sushi and what is actually the future of trading in decentralized environments. And I realized that the reality, you can see the exchanges that are making the money are the ones that are giving, like as a standard option, 20x trading and stuff like that, like future markets where people get tracked constantly. And the reality is that that's what the consumer wants. That's what the average Joe wants. He wants to leverage, and I understand that because they want to be as efficient as possible with their capital that they have. And right now, this is actually possible with Kashi and Sushi Swap, but the reality is another. The reality is that on the Kashi market, there is no liquidity. So, and the liquidity is not coming because there is a lot of problems about it. Like if you look into something like Compound or Cream, the liquidity is not, it's all together, it's pooled all together, and all the tokens that they use as collateral then can borrow through the larger pool. So this allows to have always liquidity across the board, but also creates dangers and risks connected by this. Kashi wants to mitigate this risk through isolation, which is a great idea, but unfortunately, it's very complicated for the average person to give liquidity to these markets, and there is the potential for not being able to withdraw this liquidity because for the utilization rate is 100%, and the dynamic rate goes up, but still it takes some time for these rates to goes up. So there is a kind of like a loop of problems that keeps going and going that doesn't allow Kashi to unleash the true potential of the platform and what can be really achieved in the future of sushi. So with this, I have been a little bit thinking about, but I mean, if the problem is liquidity, maybe we can figure out a way to give this liquidity in a very good way, making everybody happy. And with this, I came out with the idea of the magic internet money leverage kind of situation that I posted on the Sushi forum today. And I think the idea, well, I don't know if it's very straightforward because I'm quite a DJ kind of guy, but the idea is that we have markets right now. If you think about it, if you look at MakerDAO, you can borrow with Ethereum at like 5% APY DAI, but a lot of people doesn't do it. If you, a lot of people use like Aave and other markets, and they borrow DAI for much higher price, and they do it with other type of assets. So what happens is that an arbitrage opportunity is generated. This arbitrage opportunity is also part of strategies on Yearn in the Ethereum strategies, in which basically they create a vault, they add the Ethereum to the vault, they borrow a certain amount of Ethereum. This Ethereum, they borrow a certain amount of DAI with Ethereum, and this DAI is given into markets with the higher APY, and this creates a general additional APY for the underlying Ethereum. So the same concept can be applied here, with the extent that we can have vaults that are very cheap to borrow. For example, an X Sushi special one for this, just for this environment that we want to create, in which we allow people to borrow meme for a very good price, like 1.5-2%, and then this meme gets placed into a strategy from Yearn that allocates the meme into the Kashi markets that require the most liquidity. So the ones that we whitelist, we decide to provide to, and that are the most borrowed. So being Kashi, a platform that allows you to raise these APYs dynamically, the fact that these APYs goes up with the utilization rate allows also the strategy on the Yearn Vault to allocate very efficiently the capital towards where is required. So through this, we can imagine that we start having now very good markets with the arbitrage of people taking, for example, the Yearn Volt USDT, minting 95% or 90% of their value, where they're still earning with the Yearn Volt 9% APY. They're paying 0.8% and putting this meme into, for example, this Yearn Volt meme that gives them an extra, let's say, 11% APY. So in this case, they are rotating their capital. They are earning almost double actually double in this case of the APY that they would earn just being into the Yearn Volt USDT. And they are providing efficiency into the cash markets for people to be able to borrow this meme and open leverage positions for their trades. So this is kind of like the idea that we want to implement, which doesn't require anything from Sushi, which is what I like. So I don't need to ask anything to anybody to do it. And additionally, we just generate one market that is the meme it market. So we don't put pressure to the triple meme on Curve, and we have an instant path through the standard routing on Ethereum, because most of the pairs that trade on Sushi, of course, are incentivized. Altcoins or whatever tokens that you want to trade are pooled with Ethereum because of impermanent loss, right? So the path is very simple. At the moment that we fixed the liquidity through Yearn plus Abracadabra, we have finally good liquidity on these markets, and people can open these leverage positions, in which we will definitely help contribute on creating a UI that makes it very simple for the average Joe or the average ape to go super long. And this, I think, will give such a huge advantage in front of anybody that needs to seek liquidity outside, when instead we are creating liquidity with our own resources. So let's think just about how do we kickstart the Sushi margin trading in this case, just by utilizing what is already existing. X Sushi as collateral, and X Sushi holder can borrow a small amount, like a 30% of meme, and place this meme into the Yearn Vault. The Yearn Vault allocates this meme efficiently. Other people borrow it, trade it, and the X Sushi holder not only is earning fees by borrowing this meme that he created with his own collateral, but is also earning more fees for trading and more fees for borrowing. So win, 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 win.
So, one question I do have is, like, what token, what tokens do you think would be, I guess, like whitelisted, or like what would the criteria be
Liquidity
for
debt, definitely liquidity debt.
liquidity debt?
Yes, for example, in the example, I added Sushi and Alchemix because they are very liquid. But we can definitely also speak about Ethereum. Why not? Like, it could long Ethereum too, or other tokens like Yearn, Wi-Fi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And other tokens that have quite a substantial liquidity.
And so you say, like, the Sushi team doesn't need to do anything. Like, who?
No,
I mean, would
because
this be something built by the Abracadabra team, and then essentially it would just need a UI update for native traders to access the meme pools?
yeah, I mean, Cash is permissionless. Anybody can generate any pool they want, right? In our case, we generate our own pool. We create our own markets, and then we create the meme Ethereum market, which we do it ourselves, and we incentivize it ourselves, and we do pretty much all the system without the requirement of any front end or anything that happens, right? And I wanted to make it very, very simple. Like, user experience needs to be good. So my idea is that I have a straightforward integration inside of abracadabra.money. In one click, you deposit like a single site staking the meme into the Yearn Vault. That's it. Like we don't, I don't expect the people to go and add the meme themselves. This would be really a waste of the resources that we have. I know that Pulpi has been working on strategies for Kashi because we spoke about it a few months ago and also recently, and we just need to upgrade the strategies into something that that fits the needs of the Kashi markets that we want. Then
Right,
about the
gotcha.
UI update, in reality, it's nothing more. I picture nothing more than a slider and the position that is shown right in your page, like just like on Binance or on other. So it's not such a huge effort, which can be even taken by us directly into a different interface if the Sushi team doesn't have time for this. But would be nice to have it directly integrated in the UI, the basic UI.
Yeah, for sure. I don't imagine that is the difficult step. Um, I have more questions, but if other people have questions they want to ask, I don't want to steamroll anybody.
I just want to say, I'd like to hear about the slider. That's the DGen at heart there. So way to go.
Yeah, the slider is everything, you know, like just slide it up to the maximum and just click that button. The unfortunate thing is that you need to click again on MetaMask, unfortunately. So we might lose some degens there that might think it double.
Jeez.
I would like to add also the interaction with the Aron Bank because maybe it's not very clear. So why I'm adding Alpha Mora and the Aron Bank in the scheme is very simple. Like to enable these large trades, like for example, long 1 million Sushi and stuff like that, which is normal, right? Somebody want maybe to leverage 10x 100k for a short period of time, wants to be able to swap 1 million worth of Sushi. To be able to do that, we need a very deep meme Ethereum pool, and the way to do that is by adding meme to the Aron Bank, which is something that I've sent today to Andre and to Leo for doing it. And this would allow Alpha Mora to create a leveraged market on Alpha Mora that would help liquidity a lot, in my opinion, and also would add a little bit of spicy to the Yearn Vault meme for providing different strategies for meme for now.
So sorry if this is a dumb question. There was a point in time where I felt like I understood Alpha Homora, and then I think I started to realize that I really did not understand what Alpha Homora was really doing. Um, how how would Alpha Homora leverage?
Well, there is an
It,
LP
is
that
is
can.
it just because the Iron Bank is lending additional MIM? Is that just where it
It's
comes?
not leveraging the Kashi market is leveraging the liquidity the Sushi LP, so of the meme Ethereum pool. So when you're performing the swap, you need to think that the meme needs to be swapped to Ethereum that then needs to buy the coin that you want to leverage. So with the standard router that is Ethereum, so it would be meme eat Sushi, for example. And to be able to have the lowest slippage possible, you need the highest depth possible into that liquidity pool, so you don't get people wrecked, right? And what Alpha Mora does is very simple. It just borrows ETH and meme from the Aron Bank
Right,
and
okay.
adds it
So
to
it's
the
so
LP.
it's basically just like merging the liquidity over from Cream into the liquidity pool to get a lower slippage trade.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. So we kind of have a system that goes by itself, right? Like that's what we want. And also borrowing ETH in the Aron Bank is very cheap. And borrowing meme, I would assume that might be cheaper than borrowing USDT or other assets. We could even think that at the beginning we could give like to kickstart the thing like uncollateralized loan from Abracadabra directly to the Aron Bank that then gives the loan uncollateralized to Alpha Mora, that then is slowly repaid in like a month or less, as long as the Yarn Vault takes that path and sends the meme to the Iron Bank to cover that debt, and then it just auto sustains by itself.
Yeah, I feel like the important part is like kickstarting it right, because I think you're totally right when you're talking about Cashy about how it really hasn't had the ability to shine yet. I'm just like worried about the MIM being like the only um or rather like the MIM collateral being leveraged to a high degree to where like the actual user base and growth of people that are using the leverage isn't growing, but the leverage itself is capped out, which stops people from withdrawing. Or maybe that could just be covered through an Iron Bank loan. Because I'm thinking about like how if you are at a high utilization ratio, you might not be able to withdraw all the assets that you're lending out.
Well,
Um,
well, let's not forget that we mint as much meme as we want, because as long as it's collateralized, it can be minted, right? So we are very, very highly scalable. Other collaterals are not. Other borrowable assets are not. There is a limited amount. So this is the interesting part of this. So it's super scalable, and to an extent that I was thinking that there can be in these super edge cases in which someone might want to borrow a very large quantity for a very important trade. We could even sort of see that we don't have enough collateral into the pool and have like a special smart contract, and this is something I was talking today about, that is owned by the governance of Abracadabra, that tips in these cases, and the amount of money that it earns goes to the SSPL owners in these very, very edge cases. So we always provide the collateral when it's required.
I got you, and I mean that also makes sense. I mean, like when a Cashy pool is using high utilization, it's giving uh, a higher APY, APR. So you know,
It's also very
it,
slow.
market
Like,
dynamics.
it's also very slow to update. So this is kind of like a fallback scenario in which we want everyone to always be able to trade, and this is very important, right? But kickstarting it, I don't think it's a big problem, because we it's very simple to request to supporters of Sushi that have six Sushi to borrow a very small amount as with their collateral Sushi, like 10% or something, that is super safe, and add it to a Yarn Vault. They don't lose any money, they make money, and at the same time they're helping their own ecosystem to grow, so they're making more fees out of their Sushi. So it's kind of like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, like capital efficiency, getting the squeezing all the yield out of your assets. It's typical,
Just
typical.
wanted to ask with the ex sushi though. In this case, you would lose voting rights then with those ex sushi, or we'd have to implement those ex sushi to be able to remain with voting rights.
Actually, the sushi are inside of bento box, so theoretically, I'm sure that we can figure out a very simple way to do delegation, because they are in bento box.
Cool.
And by the way, when is the last time that you have voted with Sushi?
Vaulted as in put sushi into the sushi
No,
bar, or
voted,
put
voted. Actually
voted.
voted.
Oh, well.
2 weeks ago, I guess, probably. Ex Sushi we're talking about.
Sushi, yeah.
Do you lot not vote with your ex Sushi then? Am I silly? Am I the only one out here that
Hey,
votes.
you're not silly. It's just
No, it's
What
nice
do you
that
lot
you
do with
vote.
it? Is it cute?
listen. You're exercising your right to vote. Okay, it's commendable.
Oh my god.
Ah, you do the correct thing. I mean, voting is a right, but also an obligation.
This is how the democratic process works. We all got to put in our share and not let the whales run this thing, all right? Anyone listening out there, make sure you use your ex. Don't listen to these lovely people.
You never know when the next protocol is going to reward you for voting either, so it's important.
Okay, so and you said that this is going to be or is already in the process of being built by the Abracadabra team, or is this? Sorry if I uh, missed it when you answered me earlier.
No, it's very straightforward. Like everything, it's already built. Like it just needs Oracle from Chainlink, which is something that I will ask tomorrow, and then we are ready to go. Like as soon as we have the Oracle on Chainlink, and I don't know if Pulp is still here, maybe he can give us some context on at what stage he is with the strategies on Kashi. But in general, I think if Chainlink starts building the Oracle, it's gonna take 2 weeks, and then I guess we have the first markets on Sushi Kashi.
I believe and don't take my word for this, but I believe whether in this week or next week or this
What do you
month, I don't know, the TWAP oracles should be coming out for Sushi as well. I'm not sure how much the system or I would assume it doesn't shake it up too much, but
Shook up Titan Finance.
that was their own TWAP oracle.
Thank you.
Didn't they
Is 0x7D54. Are you able? Thank you very much. Keep yourself muted. Thanks.
Thank you, Tangle. I'm too nice for that. Oh yeah, I think I don't know if this is true, but I thought I saw that Titan Finance was like saying it was an issue with the Chainlink Oracle, but I honestly don't know what happened there. I know it was some arbitrage exploit or the the TWAP in some sense was being manipulated and tricked, but
Well, I think the Chainlink is the best because then it can be reused in other protocols, right?
reused. The
Yeah, the same Oracle. Yeah,
yeah.
once it's up, is up. You know.
Okay, well, have you like reached out to any of the team members to I mean, I know you just posted this 4 hours ago, so I'm assuming maybe not, but I'd definitely love to, get this into Sushi for leverage trading. I know meme is sort of blown up and Abracadabra is pretty huge. So this could be really good for capital efficiency and yield is in some sense like the best advertisement you can have for your platform is having more yield opportunities and higher number. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win, right? And
Yeah, I mean absolutely like Kashi like having an incentivized asset like meme to be the sort of the not the filler but like the connector between um the lending markets to have leverage would be massive because there's just not I don't know what it is, but there's not a whole ton. It's very, very specific pairs on Cashy right now that actually have liquidity. Um,
Yeah, but to what extent of liquidity? Like, can you open like a $3 million long?
I don't even think so. I don't think so. I should double check that, but I don't.
What we want is that people is able really to like if it's 100 people long and it's just along like 50K each, it's already $5 million, and that's nothing. We want thousands and thousands of people every day, right? Like we want a utilization of 100 to 200 million at least in the first month of running this, and it needs to be right. Like people needs to ape hard.
Do you have any,
Everybody.
I was just going to mention as you're talking about this, do you have any numbers and metrics from centralized exchanges that are, like something like Bitfinex or FTX and
I mean, just look at the volume of their pairs with margin trading, right? It's insane. So it's much higher than the volumes that we do on any pair, right? So that's what we should aim for. Like we should aim to be competitive with these people, no, not like the reality is that exchanges win just because of this, because of margin trading. That's it. Like you can't. How many times I go to a centralized exchange is just because I want an average. That's the only reason I go, or I want to short something. That's it.
Yep, 100%. I see that.
I think you all guys agree here in the chat. Like, why do you use Binance? Because you want to ape on some shitcoin 5x. That's it. Like, oh, this is my time. The ratio with Bitcoin is so good. I'm gonna fucking win, and then you get wrecked. But that's fine. That's great business, right?
Every
That's
time. This is my time runs through my head. I know I'm on a.
This is my time to be a millionaire. I'll make it. And you start calculating how much money you would make if it would go to that target that you had in mind with the iPhone calculator.
Plugging it into Google.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have
10,000 times 10,000 equals? Oh my god, that's like.
You guys be able to offer P&L calculators as well then?
Yeah, I mean, is there any other exchange that can offer this right now? Like with liquidity and everything, like that you can go like 3x or 5x on Alchemix or Wi-Fi or
right now
any.
right now the only thing that's available decentralized, which isn't any sort of asset that you want, is perpetual protocol, right? Which has currently about volume of like 3 to 500 million a day, which is really good, but you can't do any pair you want, right? It's still them that are choosing the pairs.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's all backed by UST, or it's all done through USDC, right? And their virtual AMM.
Yeah, I mean, this is already an answer of your idea of volumes and amounts, right?
Exactly.
Like 500 million.
Plus, obviously, perpetual protocol is only running on XDAI, right? So
yeah, and
there's
also
another barrier there.
Also, I think the maximum 10x, right? So it's very similar to here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we can definitely do the same, but spot and more liquid markets for sure, and better, like better overall.
Is legal things to do with leverage?
No.
Okay, I don't know because
No, because
I
if
was
not,
just assuming that because
Aave
perpetual.
couldn't do it. Aave could not do it. Like every time I borrow, I might leverage. So it's your choice what to do with it, right?
Okay, it's probably just because whatever organization made perpetual protocols.
Well,
just
I
taking
think
some precautions or something.
Sushi, no matter what, is kind of illegal anyway. So there is no right. Like, so I wouldn't really care about the legality of this, to be honest. It's definitely not so legal, or it is. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, very likely it's not, but it's not also to swap, to let Iranians swap on decentralized exchanges, Ethereum, Sushi, right? So
Yeah. Oh, Daniel, you're fucking crazy. I love it.
I mean, I think every day Iranians buy and sell sushi tokens. It's a reality. Afghanis, everybody. They love sushi tokens. Tomorrow is the sushi day.
Everybody.
Like we need to be a little bit realistic. Like I think tomorrow in the sushi day we will have a lot of people from Sudan swapping and buying sushi tokens. So let them buy
Good.
10x.
I agree with you. I think actually Sushi as a DEX is possibly the most advanced DEX out there, and I think Joseph and the team have done a great job taking an idea that was Sushi Swap, obviously, and they've turned that into a more corporate feel and a more corporate product while still remaining decentralized. So I gotta take my hat off to Sushi for doing what they've done, and for you to also partnering up with Sushi to do this using the same license for Kashi, which is boring, which is just amazing. I think this is going to go real well in the long term.
Yeah, I just see this like who do you want to bet right on? So so Curve it's now super efficient. Like the reality is that their 3 crypto is kicking asses. It's insane. Then we have Uniswap, that is the VC fucking Silicon Valley garbage, which is going their own route, with their innovation. Then we have Sushi, that is what it's gonna be, right? And in my opinion, is gonna be the ape mode, the one that makes most money of everybody because it has the leverage. They're not gonna have it. Where are they gonna find the money for their average? They're not gonna find it because because they're going to compete with MakerDAO with their own fucking money that they invested in other things, and they're gonna get stuck in time for trying to figure it out how to do it, while we have an unlimited supply of meme just by the market cap that grows and grows and grows of Sushi by making more and more and more money. So they're fucked and we win. That's what we want. That's it.
And also to help your case, I've been speaking to other projects, right? Like Olympus. I think another one of the team members from Spell has been speaking to them, and they're quite keen. So there's a lot of communities out there that have got a stabilized token that are happy to partner up and see if they can also they can assist liquidity to the protocol, which is amazing because that's how meme is going to get to the point where you've got not 5 or 6 or 8 billion, but you've got 20, 50, 75 billion meme floating out there and giving that market a lot of depth in terms of liquidity.
Yeah, that's what we want. I mean, we can use what I like is trying to use what we already have without asking anything to anybody. Like, I'm tired of these venture capitals coming and saying, I can give you with a discount if you give me a discount, and then I will dump your fucking token. Fuck you. We're going to do it all by ourselves, and we're going to do it better than without any money. We don't need money.
That.
We're going to make money. That's a complete different way. And then they will be stuck with their governance tokens, because if they turn it into anything else that generates yield, they're going to have legal problems. Well, we're going to go to the moon. That should be the whole case here. That's my opinion, at least.
I absolutely fucking love it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I definitely want leverage trading on Sushi.
Let's go. Let's make it happen.
From one degen to another, really appreciate everything you're saying here.
Danny, for multi-chain, what are we looking like?
This is just my personal bet, but I would say you're gonna have to wait like a couple months at least on that.
on what? On leverage?
No, on anything multi-chain or like Sushi. I thought he was referencing the Sushi chain stuff that came up maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Referencing MIM.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Okay. Weekend should be deployed on Phantom. So we will have some fun there too. And then if this works here, we're gonna replicate it with Sushi on Phantom, on BSC, on Polygon. We're gonna fuck them all. We're gonna go big because we can deploy those markets on anywhere we want. So it's just fantastic, and we can replenish. Even the Yearn Bolt can replenish markets on Phantom and BSC and Polygon right from Ethereum through bridges. So it's just freaking awesome. And then we can leverage Phantom, for example, the Phantom Phantom meme market directly, and we can incentivize that on Sushi. Then we can do the BNB meme market on BSC. And who is going to compete? I want to know. Like, it's not going to be able, anybody's going to be able to compete with the volumes that leverage generate. Like, it's just another next level, right?
Now, I got a question for you. This is regarding the look and feel of Spell. I know that obviously, it's full degen, which is absolutely amazing, and I love it. But I dare say you guys are gonna go for that sort of clean look in the long term that Sushi has to attract a lot of the normie customers, correct?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that will come in the future.
I mean, that's a big aspect for this whole leverage thing anyway, right? Because right now it's very difficult to actually use Kashi. So the key here is that UX and UI is as easy as a centralized exchange.
Agreed. I mean, we still have apes.win domain there. I don't know. We might want to use it for like an ultra degen kind of like interface with, I don't know, GIFs and shit. But the important interface will be done, I think, with the great job that Sushi does with their own thing. Clean as fuck.
All right, awesome. So
Hey, Danny.
sorry, did somebody trying to ask something?
Question. So when you roll out the whole 10x slider on the website, do you plan on also rolling out some sort of like ROI calculation tools?
Yes. We was actually now taking the API from Yearn to calculate the end. Of course, it's an estimate because I not can tell you what is going to be in 3 months, right? But they can calculate what is going to be the impact on the slippage, right? And the cost of borrowing over 1 year and the amount of time that you will need to start making money with the position. Huh?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm doing some back of the napkin sort of calculations over here right now. I've been a long-term X Sushi holder, so I've been staking for quite a while right now, and just going off of today's sort of interest rate for X Sushi, which is I think a little above 6%. It looks like if I do take my X Sushi and I loop it through abracadabra 10 times, that at the end of a 1 year period I'm going to end up with almost 20% APR. So I think what I would find super beneficial is some sort of ROI calculator where I can type in how many times I intend on looping and for it to spit out what my new APR is going to be versus what it currently is. If I'm just holding X Sushi.
Yeah,
So that would be super appreciated.
Yeah, that's what we are going to do. Actually, it's exactly what is going to be displayed next week on the UI, and also it will show that based also on the loan to value that you want to keep. So for the liquidations, right? So you want to, let's say, keep it like 30% loan to value. So you don't get liquidated, then it shows you how many times you can loop, right?
Cool.
Efficiently.
That's wonderful. And then a question for the Sushi swap team. So when people go through the process of staking Sushi for X Sushi, do you think in the future we could potentially perhaps think about kind of like integrating Abracadabra within the Sushi platform, so people don't have to necessarily go over to the Abracadabra platform in order to loop their X Sushi numerous times. I think the only sort of like caveat is, yes, if the price of X Sushi goes below a certain point, you might get liquidated, but perhaps as part of the sushi user experience, we could have sort of like one a singular sort of way to go about just taking our X Sushi and just looping it through the Abra protocol directly on the Sushi platform. I think that would be pretty amazing.
Well, I don't believe there's any of the dev team in the call with us, but I can definitely say I've even thought the same thing. Like when I'm in the like the bento box menu, like, oh man, like Abracadabra should be just like right here, just so I can be using my assets to mint stable coins like right inside the like if Abracadabra was inside the bento box, I would never even have to withdraw assets from the bento box to go over to Abracadabra to, mint
But
my.
Abracadabra is in the bento box.
It,
Actually, the assets that is deposited on Abracadabra are in bento box.
but I
If you look
can't deposit my X Sushi in the bento box into Abracadabra and mint MIM. I would have to withdraw my X Sushi from the bento box and then.
Yeah. That is true, actually.
And the liquidity pools for MIM are only on Curve. There's only one, right?
Yeah, now it has been voted in for go to Curve main UI, and we are going to spin out the meme Ethereum one that we are talking about now, right? So we will have multiple ways in which we can route the leverage. So in the case of the X Sushi, it would go through the Ethereum because it would buy the sushi and so on.
I have a quick question about Phantom, if that's not too far out of scope.
Yeah, go ahead.
Any thoughts on what collateral we'll be able to use?
Staked Phantom.
Would that be staked through?
Yeah, the main wallet from Phantom allows you to stake your Phantom, so you earn.
Yeah, like
Okay.
the PWA wallet.
Yeah, the Phantom wallet. Yeah,
you can stake it there and choose your validator and everything, and then
Yeah.
accept SFTM.
Is that
Yeah.
sort of just like a web-based kind of dashboard setup,
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like Zapper or like the OneHive new wallet thing?
not familiar with those, but it's essentially just web browser based, but then it creates it's an app. So yeah, a progressive web app. I think PWA is what that means. But yeah, it's yeah, check it out. It works quite well, and yeah, you can just have it as a desktop icon. Go.
Awesome. I'll check it out. Thanks.
All right. So I think I'm gonna try to wrap up the magic margin trading discussion. Unless there's any last topics or things that people wanted to bring up. There was one other proposal I wanted to bring up just to get some.
I have a quick question before
yeah,
you
go
switch
ahead.
over, if that's okay, for Danielle. Hey, thanks for Abracadabra. It's fucking amazing. One question about the permissions that are granted, giving Abracadabra effectively. I think usually you can set a limit when you're approving contracts, but in this case for Kashi, it says basically Abracadabra can access like all Kashi funds forever, and there's no way, it seems, to modify that through like MetaMask. Is that a control that will be given to people to kind of set those limits, or is that maybe a more on the Kashi side where there's not that granularity to decide, only have access to certain assets that are on Kashi or certain limits, as opposed to just granting blanket immunity to everything?
Yeah. So this is, I think, should be addressed into an update, in my opinion. But right now is what it is. We can't change it. It's a bento box thing. So
Okay, yeah. So if it's bento box, is that something on the sushi side then that those
Yeah.
kind of granular permissions can be added?
Yeah, they should be added. Actually, I agree with you on this. but it's on the sushi side. I can't do anything.
Okay, thanks. And great stuff. Looking forward to what comes next.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. And so if you would like to come on next week to the Sushi Forum to sort of give us an update about the margin trading, and also, we can talk in between the week, and I can maybe try to get you in contact with, or at least throw a ping over to like Omakase or some other sushi devs to.
I before posting, I spoke with everybody. By the way.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay, awesome.
Including Maki, and we
Okay,
had
so then
quite a long.
there's like good amount of traction on this already.
Yeah.
Okay, well, dope. That is awesome, and I'm excited to sort of hear more about it. And I guess you guys are primarily, I mean, from what you initially said, are sort of going to be focusing on getting the chain link oracles.
Yeah, we will make everything ready, and then we will spin it up. Then hopefully we will get an interface from Sushi. If not, we will build our own interface on top of it. I mean, that's kind of my plan. Nothing will stop us.
All right, awesome.
Daniel, you're a crazy motherfucker. I love it.
Yeah, thank you for coming out, Danielle, and
Thank you, guys.
explaining it to us.
Well, yeah, like you were saying, Turtle 2, maybe we'll try and get some
Ice is $1.60 by ice.
Let's go.
We'll get some traction here over the week, and like you say, let's get everybody back on and talk about this. This is super interesting.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm very happy to come back and talk about it again, and have some more questions over the week. I'm sure that people will have more questions.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much love.
All right, so I'm just gonna move on to the next proposal that I wanted to bring up. We don't have to spend as long as we spent on the last proposal, but I do want to get some feedback from people. This proposal is called the Shinkansen. I'm not pronouncing that right, but Shinkansen SLP. This is basically a proposal to add a second type of liquidity pool onto SushiSwap, where instead of having the 30 bips or 0.3% fee, it's just a 0.1% fee where 0.02% goes to X Sushi, or maybe it's no, I think it's 0.02 0.02%, which is basically what is happening over on UniV3, where they have the lower fee pools. And this person they are Sushi Sis is the person's name. It's basically putting forward the argument that this will increase trade volume, and they liken it to sort of Polygon and layer twos that are increasing trade volume. I was just curious on what people thought about, introducing lower fee pools. Because I assume it's going to be a little bit contentious, because if, like, say, every single pool switched to lower fees, that would just be one less volume adjusted in kind. It would be lower fees for X Sushi stakers.
I think we can try it, like on Polygon, and see what happens.
We've also got like Arbitrum and Ycabal too coming out, so that's also going to help with the fee portion of it. If the end goal here was to help with fees for the users, there are obviously a couple solutions coming out here. So, yeah, just something else to throw out. Also, I just sent out all the popes as well. So if you see something from Sushi Pope, that is your badge for attendance.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, like with the lower fee pools, I mean, just from what is, and you can read this on the forums if you go there, but just was from what was posted, I wasn't entirely convinced of the thesis that the 0.1% uh, fee will lead to more trades. Like, especially, I feel like the only people who care about these trades are whales, but these whales are going to be using DEX aggregators anyways. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it's definitely something that I think needs to be sort of like counted up and actually sort of look at the analytics of different pools and their fees and actually do like a performance rating uh, to come up with some sort of more specific answer. All right, sorry, I had to get off for a second. But yeah, I mean, if nobody has any other comments about the Shinkansen SOP, and if they don't have any other topics they want to bring up to discuss,
Yeah, just wanted to
yeah,
mention here, we've kind of alluded to over the past couple of forums here. Yeah, there's been like as a communal kind of proposal starting to happen here as well, with a bunch of the support, like the support team throughout Sushi here, who's been doing an amazing job with, throughout the Discord and everything, and commendments to all of them. So we're kind of putting together like a joint effort here towards a proposal that's designed to, I guess, create like an initiative for customer support. So a lot of places are offering that right now, and with Sushi community based, that was let's try and get the community involved in this. So yeah, there's a few of us that have been involved in this and would love to hear any thoughts and ideas around it. Just I mean, there's so many different elements to this that we've been kind of breaking down in this proposal. Everything from ways to integrate with with bots and integrate with with the actual creating a team of dedicated users and creating content and how we're connecting all of this, updating docs and everything too. So a lot of great ideas floating around here, and yeah, just want to start opening the discussion about that some more, and anyone else that wants to get involved in this, so that we can grow this into something really significant that is going to help the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. I mean, I personally feel like it would be worth it to be like having some sort of, I mean, whether it's like managed every month or every 2 months or whatever it is, but like having like, whether it's 3 people or 10 people or somewhere in between there that are sort of like basically on the payroll to be um, uh, user support,
Yeah,
technical support, stuff like that.
absolutely.
Because like as you wrote in the Google Doc that you showed me, like people 100% like users who are super active, like helping people, answering questions like that. Those people absolutely get like extremely burnt out on it, and
It's
you
very
know,
easy.
yeah, and it's I feel like just you know adding those sort of support layer to cultivate the continued interaction with the community is important.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think we've got a few people in here that are kind of pretty active with that, and I would love to hear from you guys as well. Just to kind of in an open forum like this is quite perfect. So
absolutely. Um, I mean, we at the moment have an amazing group of people who are always helping out. But as you say, it's easy to get burnt out answering the same questions all the time. Not just, and then also for the user who is being pointed to often outdated documentation and dealing with people who are answering the same question for the 20th time that day. It definitely could benefit from having an automated bot that took care of some things, having a dedicated group who could collectively culminate these questions that are asked 1,000 times and create a ticketing system that was easily able to respond to these questions when they came out. Because it's, on so many levels, Sushi is one of the most professional operations out here. It's almost the only level that it fails on is documentation and support. I mean, the website's not at all set up to deal with it. It has no kind of real-time customer support or troubleshooting. And when people join the Discord, they're instantly open to attack from scammers who interfere as support. Like, you want to try and not only limit these things to protect people, but when people feel like they're looked after and they feel like they are welcomed into a community in that way, I mean, they're with you for life, man. I've had experiences like that that definitely ring true, and I can see it in the community now when you see these people helping out and you see the response from people who are helped. It's it's the way to make sushi the thing that they actually want to come back to and they actually believe in, rather than it's not because that's another thing I'd say. It's not the dev's job to answer those questions, especially you don't want them having to take their time out of those questions, and it's not the dev's job to be particularly extra nice to people or accommodating of people with simple problems. Like, that should be the job of a support group, a dedicated group. So I don't think it's not a weird thing at all. I think it's about time Sushi
What are you doing?
What is this, my dear? You okay, sir?
I think we're good. I think that was just.
Yeah, go on, Micah.
Yeah, well, no, I'd love to hear what you lot think as well, though. I mean, is there anyone else who wants to jump in on that?
I don't know if Peg is back, but
Okay.
he worked a lot on the proposal, so maybe.
Okay. Well, I mean,
But definitely, I agree with everything you said. Like, there is a strong need for better documentation, better support, and yeah, I hope the proposal we.
alongside encouragement for members of the community to create content and create articles that will help. Like, at the moment, again, you have lots of people who are helping out a heap, but there is very little compensation or encouragement, incentive to do it. So I think, I remember Mackie talking loads of times about the underutilization of the treasury, and it would be great to be able to incentivize people who put in so much to the community and who can give so much to us in terms of their ability to create engaging documentation that will teach people clearly how to do things, guide them through the process of DeFi as a whole. Because I mean, it's absolutely overwhelming when you come into this space and you are new to the space, and it's so esoteric. Everyone who already knows things acts like everyone else knows those things, and it's people don't always feel comfortable to ask questions. This is another great thing about a bot and automated systems and self-serving systems, is that people who don't necessarily feel too comfortable can see what they can throw at this bot and get their answers back. If they do need to speak to someone, you can have a dedicated group of people who are ready and patient to deal with them. It's yeah, I definitely think it's an important part of the ecosystem, and like I say, one of the only ones that is going unfilled at the moment. It's absolutely incredible organization. It's we just need to get up to par on that level.
Folks, we've touched on a subject that I've thought about a lot and talked about a little bit. Hello, I'm Che.
Hello.
I don't mean, but I have some people in here might have heard me talk about something I have named POO protocol, or POOP, proof of onboarding protocol.
Okay.
And it had kind of coming out of DeFi summer last summer, and the wave of users that I had to onboard for one reason or another, being the megaphone of Ethereum for 4 years as DeFi summer, and all of a sudden everybody wants to yield farm, but
Yeah.
they paying attention for whatever reason. So there's a lot of onboarding, explaining this, that, and the other that probably bots can. I think the ideal goal is to automate everything. I was in customer support sort of as I broke into software 3 years ago, and then battled my way into engineer status. But in the support realm, I sort of saw these repeated scenarios that I developed a system for the app that I was working on there, that I sort of took that framework and started applying it for myself, just helping my friends. Long story short, I came up with a role called a Sherpa role, but really it could be anybody. It's just a helper.
Yeah, that's part of the whole basically the whole idea, I believe, right?
Absolutely, a guide.
So
we were not using the word Sherpa anymore, just based on some like it's
I don't know
essentially
about any of that, but
okay.
it's anything anything goes.
The concept, absolutely, the concept.
like onboarder, let's say, like
Yes.
onboarder that is available. And I was thinking, like, as I've thought more about it, to have people around in Discord communities, or if it's not Discord, somewhere else, to be sort of on deck, to have a shift. There's an hour that I'm on deck. Somebody comes on having questions, anywhere from where can I find this, all the way to like, help me, like I need help actually executing this. If we can somehow track it on chain, where somebody rather green comes in, has an onboarder help them, we can so I don't know, what am I, designate that yes, this is the onboarder that helped. Once everything has the process is clean for the person that needs help, the onboarder can be rewarded in some way. And I think that's how you take someone who is good at onboarding, but is not motivated because it takes time or whatever. Like you have people who are capable of onboarding but aren't doing it because there's just the motivation isn't there. And then there's people who are extra helpful that just do it out of the goodness or whatever. But if there's a little
Absolutely.
financial incentive, we're gonna have a whole bunch of onboarders and Sybil attacks and everything else. But so that's my 2 cents. And if anybody wants to discuss this further, I talk about poo and spread it around a lot.
Yeah, last night was a great example of where onboarders are quite helpful with the whole Titan Iron thing melting down. I think a bot couldn't help. Sometimes you just see situations that are like, anomalies, and everybody's getting wrecked and freaking out, and nobody quite knows the answer as to why, things are going down. So I guess it helps.
Definitely, especially people maybe that only got in 3 or 4 months ago. This is their first rug. Oh my gosh, that, and maybe they know how to click around, but don't have answers to questions like what the fuck is going on. So yeah.
This is some really good stuff here, Chair. Yeah, would love to continue conversation with you too here and get you looped in with everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to help. Yeah, in anything. I'm a huge sushi fan and would love to contribute.
Perfect.
And I don't really worry too much about the Sybil side of stuff, because I don't think would be like, I don't think, like, at most I could only imagine, like, at least for right now, maybe things will be different in 6 months, but for right now I could only imagine, like, at maximum, like 25 support agents that are like, brought in to be like official.
That already seems like
Yeah,
higher
yeah.
than intended, to be honest. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I mean, the initial idea was to have like six to eight, and they would all be well known to the community. You've seen them, and so I don't think that would be as much of a risk initially, for sure.
Yeah, it is something interesting to think about, sort of how everything will like scale into the future.
Yes, exactly. It's to think about.
All right,
Yeah.
so have you guys posted the proposal yet, or is it still just in working?
We've
Not
finished,
yet.
we finished the proposal. We haven't posted it just yet. We just wanted to get a little bit of feedback from a few different people and to begin the discussion here now. It's sort of just to see how you lot felt about it in its initial implementation, and then we can kind of see how you feel when we post the proposal. We can send it to you in advance.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
just like working on
go
it
ahead.
right now. Like, so the problem is like, it's not about right now. It's about like when the whole sushi scales. So right now, like the total framework of like, somebody coming onto Discord and like falling onto this like traps of like scammers, it's not
Yeah,
efficient at all.
it's not
So
efficient.
what we are planning is like to create like, all-in-one like customer like service management like platform that's like ended by Sushi or like connected to like the subdomain or something. So what actually goes there is like there'll be like 6 to 8 like dedicated members who are going to like be on there like based on like all time zones. They're like all major time zones like in the world. So primarily there are going to be like three modes. One would be like the self-serve, where so imagine like the simple analogy. When we go to like grocery market, there are people who actually do a self-checkout. There are people who actually do like go to the biller and like scan their stuff and like pay there. So if you use like the same analogy, right now Sushi documentation is really geared towards like developer perspective. And I think like when we have like a lot more tools like our ecosystem partners, we need like something like that noobs can understand. So there should be like a way where like everybody can actually like understand what's going on, like something that is like more like legible and like more easy to understand. And I think that's where like if we can create like a platform where people can come and like actually read like documentations that is like geared towards their level, because
Yes.
decentralized finance is still fairly new concept, and a lot of situations exist where like it's environment agnostic. That means like for each user the case might be different. So if somebody posts on Discord, for example, they have to like relate if the people from the community don't have like a real answer because it's like situation agnostic, they have to rely on like getting in touch with the developer and then have to reroute. I think this whole system has like a lot of fallacy involved in it, and it's not efficient at all. So if we can create like this same analogy of like a grocery market where people can actually self-serve from like documentations that are like about like not something that is subpar, or I'm not saying it's subpar, but it's more like geared towards developers right now. But if it's yeah, and if we can actually use like a chat bot, so imagine somebody who's not able to like actually self-serve like a documentation on how to like take something, or like they can go to the self-serve. So from self-serve, when they go to the bot, the moment like somebody actually types some question, we can actually show them like what the answer is instantly. And then if they're still not able to figure it out, they could go to like a chat where like there could be like people actually sitting down, because right now like a lot of major protocols actually have started like implementing like ticketing system and all this stuff. So from there, if like the situation agnostic questions come, we could actually ask them to like create tickets. So a platform where they can actually self-serve using like a plethora of like documentation, a chat bot, and like ticketing and live chat. If you can like actually pull that off, like I think that'll like actually help like a whole bunch of users who are onboarding.
And we think we can pull it off in 6 months. So that is the proposal.
And without the need of the core team, or not much need.
With minimal need from the devs, from the core
Yeah.
devs.
So that's something else one would ponder, right? Like, are you going to take a lot of time, like, from the developer's perspective? So what you're planning is like something that is like really lightweight, like something that actually don't need like a lot of like, we don't have to rely a lot on like core developers. They can just like set it up and then everything can be managed. Like for example, content. So for every content, imagine if we can create like some video walkthroughs about it and like illustrations and stuff that can actually like, actually cater this powerful information, because like all of our tools like Kashi are like amazing, but they're still overlooked. They're not like actually like getting used to their
100%.
potential. So that's where like we feel like if we can create something like this for the community, and if community can like enthrall it and like actually like push it forward, I think we can actually create like a system where like actually community like actually gets uplifted. Because imagine if somebody actually has a problem, and if we can solve it, they're going to kind of get retained in the and on this like protocol.
And if they,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, if they like, there are so many people who don't even know what Kashi is, or are too uncomfortable to even attempt to find out what it is, without engaging documentation, engaging content that clearly explains and shows these things on display. It's really hard for people to kind of conceptualize them and think, all right, this is what it is that I'm actually trying to do. If we can sort of engage people on that level, it's really healthy for the community and the growth of it. What were you going to say? Sorry about that.
I was just going to say, I think that you guys should essentially like hire for it before the proposal is finished, and then that way you have like a list of people that you could actually like list, and then that also gives a community an ability to almost vet and look into the people a little bit, at least to some degree.
Absolutely. We have a list of 6 people on the in the proposal. Do you want the list of them now, or?
No, I don't need the list right now. Just like when the final form of it, I think that's super.
We think like we can actually like put it on the forum like in the next few days.
Yeah.
So you get like the whole picture of like what's going to happen, like how this is going to be like beneficial for like the end user.
Right.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, I think it's really key to be to utilize community members that have been so ingrained in this and have been so involved.
Exactly.
Because it is building reputation, it's building comfort, even as like this, as this gets rolled out I mean, we sure hope this goes. People that are coming back here, they may recognize those names and understand that, hey, yes, this is somebody that's helped me before, and
I couldn't agree more.
We're building this trust as well within the community. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
Do you guys have any data insights or understanding as to like what the primary issues are? Like, or is there, of like the 100 issues that users tend to face, like there's one that tends to dominate all the others, as opposed to trying to boil the ocean?
My God, add your contract token. Have you added your contract, your tokens contract to your MetaMask wallet or your Coinbase wallet? That I would say that's the most asked question.
Because I think that would be just really useful. And I mean, like this is essentially my job and my real job. And like the key thing is to just understand like what is the 80% of the issue, or sorry, the 20% that's going to generate 80% of the impact. And so if MetaMask connections for the noobs is like the number one thing, is there something that we can do to just have that loud and clear as a link in on the website? And totally apologize if I am talking about what you guys think about like all day.
It's like usually issues with the UI, like people don't know how to pull their liquidity out or, convert their tokens, or say their transaction got dropped because they didn't pay enough gas or things like that happen quite a bit.
It's definitely more questions than that. I was going for
100%. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply that was the only question. I'm just from an efficiency perspective and targeting perspective, right? Like, because I think support lines are always great, but if 50% of the users that are coming in are having a common question, then you might just get a ton of ROI from just like trying to nip that in the bud up front.
I understand the argument for sure. I think, go on.
The thing, like I remember, you remember Shiba and Kishu, last month when the dog meme coin happened, the whole craze for all of that. I was sitting in Uniswap, man, and the sheer volume of customer support they needed at that moment when all of these noobs came in trying to FOMO into Shiba, like it was insane. I watched them basically develop their system in real time, where they tweak things. They had to put a timer on when you can ask questions. They had to actually implement the bot. They had to like make new channels, for ticketing. So I don't know. It's going to change dynamically, as you need different things and different problems arise.
Yeah, and I would say like you will have like one question that is sort of most asked. You'll have something, an early question on a concept that is most Googled, and then you'll have all the next layers of questions that come after that. And that's often the case. You get the starter question, and then they come back with the next question as each layer goes down. And it comes back to that thing of not, having old documentation, not having a good process or an appealing, welcoming process that guides people through the DeFi space as a whole, but Sushi Swap specifically. It'll always start with one issue, but if people get stuck there or don't feel comfortable, they just don't come back to it, or they are turned off the product as a whole, and it's definitely a problem. I see it.
That's totally fair. And just to counter my own self, the argument you can make is like we're so early in this DeFi space that's that much more important. That everybody that comes in has that much more handholding, because like eventually you want them to advocate to somebody else that they know. So
Exactly.
maybe down the line you start thinking about scalability, but like the things that don't scale are the most powerful. And when we're this early on, maybe that's when it's the most meaningful. Just to
Could
count
not
on.
agree more. Could not agree more. Yeah, well said. Well, thank you very much for like listening to the initial take on the proposal. Do appreciate it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome to get that
yeah,
good
no worries.
feedback here from everyone.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And anyone else that wants to, reach out to me, or any of these people that have spoke up here, HHK chair. Well, we're gonna get chair involved here. I know Floatsy's involved. Getting Magic Turtle in here, Maka and Newbies in here too. Peg Batak and RSK. Zipchini. Yeah, we got lots of them here too. So reach out to any of them or any of us, and let's it's great to see such traction behind this already, and this is going to become something amazing.
Much love. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, this has been an awesome sushi forum this week. Just want to thank everybody for coming out and participating. I assume that we will be we'll be talking about the I don't know. I guess there's not a name for it yet. The sushi shepherd, sushi.
The onboarders.
The onboarders, yes. Sushi onboarders. Proposal next week.
Yeah, if you guys have some idea of the names, like what could be the name of these onboarders, feel free to
Yeah, I mean, I like the name onboarders. I think that's, pretty simple and gets to the point. It's pretty direct. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming out. We'll be here next week, 9 p.m. UTC, same time, same place. Don't forget we have the Onsen AMA with
we got Polygon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 16:30 UTC, and then next week we've got 2 or 3 lined up here. So a couple of things might be changing yet, but keep an eye out in the announcements, and heads up on Twitter there as well for any updates on that too. So hopefully see you all there. And again, always Pope's coming out here. So if you didn't get a Pope from this, if you showed up in between or weren't there when I fired them out here earlier in the batch, hit me up, DM me, and we'll get you sorted. So.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And to anybody listening into the recording, thanks for listening. Catch you guys next week.
Thanks, Turtle.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much.
Everyone.
Take care.